Hola, ¿cómo estás? We are up close and personal. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, we need to carve out the eyebrows. And why do I feel like I'm not prepared? But I'm prepared. I'm prepared. Okay, so to carve out the eyebrows, I'm going to be using this Makeup Revolution. I would consider this drugstore because it's very affordable and you can find it at Ulta. I don't know where else you can find it, maybe online on the website. But I'm using this Revolution one. This is the stick foundation and this is in the shade F2. But I'm just going to be using that to carve the eyebrows because I wanted something creamy, darling. And I'm gonna be using this Morphe M224 brush. I feel like I cannot operate right now. I feel like I'm having some kind of energy. Maybe it's the coffee, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put that right under the brow. I like to do this just because when I don't do this, I feel like my eyebrows look a little lost. Now for eyeshadow primer, I'm going to be using this one from Milani. This is in the shade 01 Nude. I personally like to start my makeup with my eyes because, girl, if there's fallout, there's going to be fallout. And I would be so upset if my makeup looked flawless and then it gets, ruined because of fallout. So that's the reason why. But now I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out. And I'm using a Urban Decay double-sided eyeshadow brush. This is usually the one that you receive when you buy one of their palettes. It's actually pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and let this sit for about 30 seconds. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply some concealer. Because I want to make sure that the eyeshadows pop, I will be applying concealer. So I'm going to be using this one. This is the e.l.f. Concealer Camo. And this is in the shade Light Ivory. So again, using the same brush, I'm just going to go ahead and apply that all over the eye. And then what I personally like to do too is I like to drag this all the way out as well. The first shade I'm going to use is this one here, which is called Hemp Leaf. And I'm going to be using this Jaclyn Hill JH35 brush. This is from the Morphe collection. So I'm going to grab a little bit of color and slowly build it up. So I'm just going to go back and forth. I want to focus this color mainly on the crease and then very lightly go up but not too up, if that makes any sense. So we're gonna slowly build it up. I actually found this palette at Target and I was just like, walking around the aisles and I saw it and it just caught my eye. I don't know what it was about it. I didn't even know it was infused with hemp. I don't know what. It sounds like it's, some Mary J, pero no sé. But I didn't know that until I literally got home and I was paying attention to the palette and I was like, oh, I didn't know. So anyways, I'm just going to keep on doing this and building it up until I like the way that it looks. But I mean, you can see, I think I only done one swipe, right? And you can see that it has pretty decent pigment. Like it's it's true to color. So I like it so far. I'm going to dip into this color here called Hot House, and I'm going to be using a flat eyeshadow brush to do so. Unfortunately, I don't know where I got this one, but I've had it for a very long time, this brush. But I'm just going to go ahead and apply this all over the lid. Did I? Wow, I think I got pigment on the other side of it, and I was like, hello? Pigment, are you there? I mean, obviously. Oh, by the way, I didn't even explain myself. The reason why I have one eye, like, halfway there is because normally I do one eye off of camera. Well, technically, I do it on my phone, and that's my IG for IG. So if you guys want to see some quick little 30-second tutorials or some skits and stuff, you can follow me on the gram. I mean, if you want to. You don't have to, but we can be friends. But I'm just putting this all over the lid, and it's okay if you're messy. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I will say don't bring it all the way into the crease because then it's gonna make it really hard when we are going to blend. So just put it all over the lid. Back with the JH35 brush, whatever's left with that hemp, I'm probably saying that wrong, whatever with that green color that was left, I'm just gonna use that to blend the crease, and that way we kind of marry these colors together a little bit. You want to be very light-handed, and it will make it look a tad bit muddy, but not in a bad way. So we're just going to go ahead and do circular motions just to blend a little bit. And then I am going to grab a little bit more of that green color. I'm just going to call it green because I know I'm saying that word wrong, and y'all going to laugh at me. Now, I'm sorry if I look a little bit off or sound a little bit off. It's just that I'm doing a lot today. I changed a lot. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but my lighting is different. I changed my lens, and I just feel a little bit out of place, you can say, but in a good way. I feel like the lighting looks better. You're able to see things a little bit more true color and stuff. And not only that, but I haven't filmed like a full face in a very long time. So there's just a lot of new stuff happening at once for me. Now I'm going to use a little bit of Worldly, and honestly in the palette I feel like this color looks a little bit more brighter, but when you put it in the eyes it kind of almost seems black. Now with this color I did notice that there was a lot of fallout, but maybe it's my brush honestly, but I cannot let go of this brush. This brush is like already in its funeral, but I'm still like trying to, you know, make it come back to life. I love this eyeshadow brush. I should just buy another one, huh? Duh. That just sounds like a good solution. But I'm just grabbing a little bit. I don't want to grab too much, but what I'm doing is I'm trying to smoke out the outer part of the eye and as well a little bit the inner part of the eye. And basically, to a certain extent, we're doing a halo eye a little bit. But it's an easier way. You don't have to stress too much, boo-boo. We are here and we are in this together. Now I'm going to grab some of this color here called Quartz, and that is going to be our brow highlight. So I'm just gonna go very lightly back and forth, well, in circular motions. I'm gonna grab a little bit more, tap some of it off, and put it right under the brow. What this does too is gonna help diffuse in case that there's like harsh lines or you overdid it and you brought the shadow way too high. It's not gonna completely take it away, but it'll diffuse it a little bit. So very light-handed. Now I'm going to dip into this color here called a Milky Way, and to grab this shadow I am using a Morphe brush. Again, this is from the Jaclyn Hill collection. This is the JH41. I love the Jaclyn Hill collection brushes. They're like my go-to. I literally have one for my makeup kit too. It's just, I love them. And I think it's just that I'm used to them as well. But we're focusing this color on the center, and that's going to help create a halo. And as you can see, I did not clean up the center to apply this. You can, and doing so, it's gonna make it pop a little bit more. But I just feel like this is giving me life. Like you see, it looks blended. You just have to trust the process, boo. Now for what's really gonna make this eyeshadow pop is this here. This is the LA Girl. This is a glitter topper. It's only like $4 or $5 and I got it at CVS. This is what it looks like, and this is in the style Hollow Glam. Honestly, these look amazing. You know what's funny is that I think that some of the Morphe palettes, which is typically a lot of the palettes that I have, some of them, I think one or two actually that I own, have these, like, they're called glitter toppers, and I don't think I ever really knew how to mess with them. And there was a the display that was for this LA Girl one. Sorry that I'm used to like hovering, and that you maybe can't really see because tengo caballota nails. But in the display, like, it told you there, use your fingers, and like you don't need to apply any glitter, primer. You can just put it on top of eyeshadow, or you can put it on its own. And honestly, as a, like, that's what it does. It's a topper. Look at how pretty, and it's just stunning, honey. It's stunning. You can kind of see a little bit that I have left on my fingers. It's like a hint of blue, white. It's giving me winter vibes. Okay, I'm going to move on from the eyes just for a bit, and I'm going to go on to the face. So to prime, I'm going to be using this NYX Bear With Me. This is a hydrating jelly. When I first saw this, I thought it was so weird. Don't clown on me if you see a little something in there, but it looks like water, right? But it doesn't spill. It'll be funny if it just like pops out, but it's like gel. Let me show you a little closer in case that you've never seen it in your life. This is what it looks like. Focus camera. I don't know how to do it for you. There you go, kind of. But anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this. I grabbed a lot because I really want to hydrate my face, especially right now. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's funny because like I'm combination skin, but I'm more oily than anything, but lately I've just been feeling my face so dry. But then my oils still come through a lot, so we want to hydrate. I also have, you know, a little bit of blessed enlarged pores, so I'm going to fill them in a little bit, hide them with this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. So I'm going to grab a little bit. I get scared though about using this sometimes because if you apply too much or if you don't apply it correctly, I feel like it just doesn't sit well sometimes with certain things. But I'm just going to go ahead and put it right here, and I'm going to just mix it using these 4 fingers, and I'm just going to press it onto the skin. Instead of like rubbing it, I'm just going to press it into the skin. And just on this area where it's like where I really have that issue. This is just really going to expose how extra I am, but even before applying any concealer or foundation, I'm also going to be using the NYX Bear With Me. This is the set as well as prime. And I'm just going to spray this all over my carita. I'm going to be using this Maybelline. This is a color corrector just to brighten underneath the eyes. So I kind of like to do kind of like a U form. Just right underneath. And I do a lot. Not really. It's just no sale tanto. You can do the little twist it and get a little bit more. But I just need a tad bit, and then I keep applying layers and layers and layers. Okay, Ashley. I'm going to be using this e.l.f. sponge to blend it out. I've never used the e.l.f. sponge before. I got it because obviously the color is beautiful, but when I wet it and I dried it, some of the color came out on the towel, and I'm like, girl, you better not come out of my face. I don't need to see no, what would you call this color, magenta? Under my eyes or on my face. For foundation, I can't decide if I want something matte or something dewy, so why not mix and do both? So I'm going to be using this Maybelline 24-Hour Foundation as well as this Maybelline Fit Me Dewy Foundation. They are both in the shade Classic Ivory. So I'm just going to put this all over the face. I'm just tapping it on, and by the way, I'm using this Morphe M439 foundation brush in case you are wondering, hunty. I actually have this like makeup palette mixer, and I can tell you right now that it has just helped me so much because normally I would use the back of my hand, but then I hated having like all that makeup like in my hand. So I just love the fact that I'm able to dip, because what I do is I will put a little bit of that foundation, I'll tap it into the brush, but then I'll tap it on the sides too, that way I don't get like too much product, if that makes sense. I mean, I can never talk, so it's like, Ashley, why are you trying to teach people, you know, how to do things, or at least teach you, you know, whatever I know if I can't even speak? Like, how y'all supposed to learn? Now I'm going to go ahead and cream contour. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Cream Contour Palette, so I'm going to mix all 3 of the browns. And then I'm going to be using this Fenty Beauty. This is in the 125. And I'm just going to start on my forehead by tapping that on. Just going to give some color to my life. I tend to go very extra when it comes to contour. I just like to bronze up my skin as much as I can. And with cream, I think you're able to make it look a little bit more natural than with powder, for sure. Because once it's on, boo, it's really hard to diffuse when it comes to powder, because it's set, baby. I'm gonna put some on my cheeks to enhance those cheekbones, baby. ¿Cuáles? I don't have any. Now for concealer, I'm going to be using this L'Oreal Infallible Longwear Concealer. This is in the shade Oatmeal. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to go ahead and do it like you normally see others do it. I'm going to put it like here, because I saw this trick from this makeup artist who shows you tips. I'm so sorry, I don't know his name right now, but I will put it on the screen. But he said, hey baby, do you not want your face to look dragged when you put concealer? Because I can't speak, you see what I'm saying? Because typically when I apply concealer, just like everybody else, the triangle form, it looks too heavy on my cheeks, and it's just not flattering. Versus right now, I'm kind of going to conceal the right places. I'm going to use the e.l.f. sponge, and I'm just going to start blending that and pressing that on the skin. And this is just going to give you a good highlight right where you need it. And then you're going to blend this here. It's going to give you a little bit of a lift. And I'm totally okay with that. I need a lift for sure. I'm going to add a little bit of concealer to my nose and then a little bit right here. Just so that I can have some brightness and it's not just underneath the eyes, so it can blend nicely. You guys can hear my brother singing in the background. You welcome. You got a free concert. But to set my face, I'm going to be using this Maybelline Fit Me Pressed Powder. This is in the shade 100 Translucent. And I'm going to be using this Morphe JH01 brush. So I'm just going to grab some of the product. And I'm just going to tap that onto the skin. And what's nice is it's not going to add color, so it's not going to affect anything. But I'm not going to really focus it on the under eyes because I'm going to use a different powder for that. For my under eye, I'm going to bake using this Rimmel Stay Matte Loose Powder. This is in the shade Translucent. I already went ahead and blended under the eyes so I don't have any creasing. I grabbed some of that powder and I'm just going to go ahead and press it on the palm of my hands just so that I can remove some of the excess powder. And then now I'm going to go ahead and press this down under the eyes. That way it's not like too much product that I'm putting under the eyes, but still some coverage. I know that putting this much powder in your face is not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. You can just go ahead and do what's best for you. But now I'm going to bronze up my skin using a powder, and I'm going to contour my nose. I'm going to use this Physician Formula's Butter Bronzer. This is in the shade Deep Bronze, and I'm going to be using this Morphe E27 brush to contour my nose. Even though it kind of looks like it's already contoured, that was because of the way that I applied that concealer, you know. You see 2 in 1. You brighten and you contour. But I'm just going to go ahead and lightly go over the sides of my nose. Very lightly. And then I'm going to bring it up a little bit right here. Because I feel like when I do this, it just kind of makes the contour look a little bit more like somewhat realistic. Wow. It just kind of creates a little bit of a shadow, like a natural shadow. So I'm just contouring my nose. I grabbed some of that Rimmel loose powder and I'm just going to press that onto the center of the nose. So that way I can really focus that highlight. With the same bronzer, but I'm using this Morphe JH05 brush. I'm just going over everywhere that I had cream contoured, but using the powder. Just to intensify it a bit more and make it come to life. I went ahead and I used some of that Rimmel powder to go ahead and bake underneath the contour, but now I'm going to apply some blush. So I'm using this Pacifica Cherry Cheek Powder Palette. This kind of caught my eye too when I got it at Target, and I'm going to use the color Fire Lit, which is this one right here. I'm just going to smile and put some on my cheeks. It looks very brown on the palette, but I feel like, you know, it has some color. I just didn't want something that was going to be too pink because then I feel like it's going to look a little bit crazy with the eye look that I'm wearing right now. Okay, so for brows, it's going to take me forever, so I'm probably not going to do all of it on camera because we're going to be here for forever. But I'm using this e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. This is actually the first time that I used this particular brush. Typically I always use the Anastasia one, but this is in the color Taupe, but it looks darker than what Taupe would be, so I'm a little worried. But I'm just gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows off of camera because you're making me a little nervous. To finish the eyebrows, I'm gonna use this NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. Now let me tell you, my eyebrows, they're like step cousins, and not only that, but they have different shapes. Like this one is way more arched and the other one is way more relaxed, like natural shape. So don't come at me. Let's go ahead and continue on with the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this color here called Lift Off. And I'm using a Morphe 508 brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to my lash line. Well, not my lash line, my lower lash line. And we're going to slowly build up this color. Now with this JH40 brush, I grabbed a little bit of that quartz color, which is like the nude shade, and I'm gonna use that to diffuse and blend right there. So just circular motions. For the inner corner highlight, I'm going to grab this color here called Looking Glass. I'm using this JH39 brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and pop that right on the inner corner. I'm going to use this Wet n Wild eyeliner pencil. This is in black, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that as close to my lash line as possible. I don't want to wing this. I just want to have it there so that when I apply the falsies, it blends better. With this Morphe M443 brush, it doesn't have anything on the brush. I'm just going to go ahead and use this to kind of like smudge out that eyeliner. That way it doesn't look so like just like a line. I just need it to look a little bit more diffused. I'm also going to apply this on the top waterline to also help blend the lashes. Now I'm going to use this LA Girl. This is in the shade Nude, I believe. I took off the wrapper and the name came off, but I'm going to apply this on the lower lash line. And this is going to help open up the eye. I already curled my lashes, so now I'm going to apply some mascara. I'm using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise and in the shade Black. So I'm just going to coat them and get them ready for some falsies. For lashes, I'm going to be using these Ardell lashes. These are the 3D Fox Mink number 858. I'm going to pop these on. It's actually been a very long time since I've used lashes from the drugstore. Not that they're bad, it's just that I've been really into like fluffy, big lashes. And most of the time, they just don't have that at the drugstore. But these are actually pretty. I tried a lip combo that I just wasn't happy with. So I'm going to be trying a different one. This is the LA Girl lip liner. This in the shade Sugar and Spice. I'm going to use that to line my lips. Ooh, this is actually a very pretty color. I'm digging this lip liner color. For liquid lipstick, I'm going to be using this NYX liquid lipstick. This is in the shade Beyond Basic. It is a nice brown, so I'm just going to put this all over the lid. Wow, all over the lips. I'm going to put a little bit of this Milani liquid lipstick. This is in the color Lavish, but I'm going to put this just on the center to give a little bit of lightness, and then I'm just going to use my fingers to blend it. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye off of camera, change, and I'll show you the final look. This is the final look. I'm really happy with the way that this came out. It is giving me like a New Year's vibe. It is giving me like cosmic vibes, and I'm saying that because, you know, the palette is called Cosmic, but I'm completely happy with the way that this came out. And not only that, but I at least believe that this tutorial was kind of simple. At least like the makeup look, it didn't take like too long. It didn't take too much blending. So I feel like you can do it, girl. I believe in you. I upload beauty, fashion, and lifestyle videos Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 p.m. So if you're into that content, consider subscribing. Hit the bell button to get notified when I upload a new video. Hit that like button. It lets me know what you like and don't like. You're more than welcome to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. I post little previews of what I'm filming. I get to keep up with me, so you're more than welcome to do so. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!